Well balanced, real good hip and shoulder, very correct, great eye, kind of all the things you're looking for. He had a good walk, looked like he was going to be a decent sized horse, and pedigree Ralph really liked. He liked the flatter and the touch gold, and so we kind of, as Ralph says, we don't often agree on when we go to sales. Either they're not up to muster confirmation wise, or there's not enough pedigree. And this time we hit it pretty good. No, it was a reasonable price. I don't know how much higher we would have gone, but it was within our budget. We knew he was pretty talented, and even going into the Funny Side stake, that was kind of a plan to get to the Champagne with 2 races and then go to the Breeders' Cup. So I had pretty high hopes for him even early on. When he ran down loose on the lead speed, the favorite in the Funny Side, that underlined, I thought, very, very high quality, because that was a race he probably shouldn't have won. He had too much to do at the head of the lane and chased down a really nice horse, but he still did it. So that kind of underlined it. It's both talent and kind of, he was very resolute. You know, good races. Daredevil, ran the freakish race in the Champagne, and we were second, and we were wide both turns, and ran beat the last jump for second money in the Breeders' Cup. And a horse that day, Texas Red, kind of ran off the screen, and we weren't going to beat him, but we just kind of reaffirmed that he was in the lead end of the 2-year-old crop at that time. He ran well over it, he handled it, but nobody liked it. I mean, it was a grueling, tiring surface, and horses ran to the wire exhausted. They didn't gallop out much, and you were just hoping that you didn't gut them and do so much that they needed months to recover, and that can happen. Unfortunately, he recovered quite well, but both the Fountain of Youth and the Florida Derby were kind of tiring racetracks that, again, horses handled. I don't know that any of them love it. He Materiality, we're 12 in front of the third horse, and we separated ourselves from some pretty nice horses. And it looks like he's bounced back well. I know we have. We're doing super. Yeah. A few days. We were fortunate. I mean, it didn't have to happen that way. And we had an extra week. We had 5 weeks to get to the Derby, so I could give him a really easy couple of weeks. And we did that. We turned him out and walked him a few extra days and played with him just so he could kind of recharge his batteries. I think it's better than 1, 2, 3, maybe even 4. It's not ideal, but we don't get to pick that. Those are the cards that you drew, and you have to deal with it. And I guess my job is to convince Jose Ortiz that it's the best spot on the planet. I'd like to see him not in the middle of the racetrack. That's whether we're 4th or 8th. I'd like to see that we could be, in the 1, 2, 3 path. If we, maybe 4, and not get parked wide, because if you get parked wide first turn, you're probably going to get parked wide second turn, and you need to be a super horse to overcome that. So I think the whole run to the first turn, we're going to be looking to dive over at some point to try to save some ground.